Hello, lovely people out there. This is my Ukonu. Welcome you back to another series of BrainBox. And in today's series, we'll be considering the topic titled "You Can't Heal in the Same Pattern." One thing you must know that you don't need another fresh start. You need a different pattern because you cannot heal in the same environment, the same mindset, and the same habits that injured you. If nothing changes, then you must note that nothing heals. Because many people say they want healing, but they keep repeating the same cycle. Now, the same reactions, they keep repeating the same choices, the same tolerance level, the same emotional triggers. Then they wonder why the pain still remains permanent. And why the pain remains permanent is that healing is not magic. That's what we must note, is that healing is never it's never magic, because healing is interruption. And that's one thing we must get. And you must interrupt that pattern, which is very, very essential. If you were hurt by constant chaos, then why are you still entertaining chaotic conversation? That if you were drained by over given, the question you need to ask yourself, then why am I still afraid to say no? Because your last mistake came from ignoring those red flags. Then why are you still dismissing comfort? That's one thing. But why are you dismissing comfort? A wound cannot close if you keep reopening it. And sometimes the pattern is not it's not actually people. The pattern, it is your response. Now, what is your response? It is the way you argue. How do you argue? It is the way you shut down, the way you avoid those hard conversations. And this is the uncomfortable part. Patterns feels familiar, even when they're even when they're unhealthy. Familiar feels safe, but familiar is set not to always bring growth, because healing requires different response. That may mean walking away sooner. How soon are you willing to walk away? Speaking up earlier, slowing down before reacting, choosing silence instead of revenge. Because one thing we must note is that difference feels unnatural at first. At every first time, difference always feels very unnatural. It feels awkward to respond calmly when you're already used to reacting always emotionally, because it feels uncomfortable to enforce boundaries when you are used to pleasing people. But one thing we must note is that growth always feels unfamiliar before it feels powerful. Very, very important to note that. Now, if you keep choosing what feels normal, you will keep relieving what hurts you. Because real healing looks boring sometimes, or it looks like restraint, it looks like discipline, it looks like choosing peace over pride. That's what it looks like at every point in time. But one question you must ask yourself is that, and you must ask that question very honestly, that what circle am I secretly maintaining? What behavior do I justify? Because it's unfamiliar. What am I tolerating that keeps reopening those old wounds? Now, you don't need a new year. All you need is a new is a new pattern. And that starts with awareness. You cannot think your way into healing while living the same way. Different choices, you must note, create different outcomes. If you truly want to heal, you must be willing to respond. You must be very, very willing to respond differently, even when it feels uncomfortable. You need to change that pattern for you to change that result. And if you want to change that result, change that pattern. Anything is possible. Activate your brain box today. And if you are viewed to a time like this, please don't forget to subscribe and to hit that notification bell. That might bring more content like this your way. Activate your brain box today. Thank you.